Mwah. Hello everybody, Lady Yasumi here, and today I'm doing exactly what I promised you guys. We're going to be doing my very first book review. I am so excited to tell you guys about this book. At the beginning of this video, everything will be spoiler free, so feel free to stick around until I tell you otherwise. If you don't mind spoilers, then stick around to the end of the video and I will be talking in depth about how I felt about the book, the characters, and everything else in between. So stay tuned if you want to stay for that. Otherwise, you are safe to stay until that point in which I let you know that there will be spoilers ahead. So spoiler free at this point onward. I hope you guys enjoy, because I'm certainly going to enjoy. So, as you guys already know, I have been reading Gold and Steel series. The very first installment of that is called As Fierce as Steel, and it's by Christopher Walsh. This is the book right here, this massive beauty of a book. This book is about a lady named Orange Cloak who is the leader of a band of thieves, and they are pretty much fighting for equality in this nation called Elestria. She's not alone. She has her, like I said before, her band of thieves. One of the characters in which I instantly loved, her name, and I'm probably going to get it wrong, is either Ilari or Ellery. I tend to go hard on my my letters, so I called her Ilari throughout the whole thing in my head, so I'm probably just going to call her that here. But Ilari Dolan was a character I became firmly attached to at the very beginning of this book. Totally well written, the character is very relatable. Not only is Lady Orangecloak and her thieves working toward an equality across the nation, there's also a woman who is among the elite folk, Lady Marigold, who's also working in her own way to create that same equality. They're in a nation that's very objectifying toward women and toward LGBT and things like that. Like, people are not very open-minded toward those things, and you know, there are other classes. There's elves and there's dwarves, and you know, obviously they have their own ways of viewing all these things. And I just can't wait to see it all just come together, because this was only the first book, guys. So you know, this is definitely just ends where you're just like, I just need the second book. I want to read more. So overall, on a whole, that's kind of the gist of what the story is, you know, trying to create a new Elestria, or Elestra. I keep saying Elestria. I feel like I'm putting in an extra letter. I think it's just Elestra. I have to tell you guys, this is a fantasy book, and I really enjoyed this read. The world building and the characters, there's a ton of characters and races and just representation of every different kind in this book, and it's so beautifully written. Not just the prose, but like he definitely took the time to delicately make sure that he's representing properly, and that's completely awesome to see, because you don't see too many books that will just go and take the chance and take the dive and represent different communities, like the LGBT community, which there's representation in this, guys. It's awesome. It is great. He definitely does it justice. Besides that, the book on a whole is such a good book. It was a joy to read. There were a couple of little things that, you know, personally I had trouble grasping, but overall I totally recommend this book. If you're into fantasy and you're into fighting for what you feel is right, and there's a huge cast of women. You know, Christopher writes these women so elegantly and just flattering. It's very flattering how he writes them. You'll definitely find one amongst them all that you can connect to, and she's just that, you know, that vision of fierceness that that you would want to see in a female character. You know, they're not the ones from horror movies who are running and they're the ones tripping and falling. which consequently that actually would be me. I would probably be the one to trip and fall because I'm weird like that and a little clumsy like that. But besides that, because that's off topic, this is a book review. I would totally recommend it as a read if you like fantasy. This book is a gem. It's a total gem. It's self-published, and you can tell the author just took so much time to make sure he got it right. Not just the story itself and the plot line and the characters, the world building, but also like in the editing and that whole process. Like, he's put so much work into it, and it shows. It totally shows. Definitely check it out. If you don't want any spoilers, get out of here. Hey guys, if you're still with me, that must mean that you don't mind spoilers. So welcome, because there's going to be spoilers. You don't want it, you should have left. Or leave now. So, As Fierce as Steel, as I've said before, mainly follows the character named Lady Orangecloak. When we first meet Lady Orangecloak, she has been captured. It's the first time we actually get to see her. She was led into this trap, essentially, and she's been captured. However, she does have friends among the elite or the higher-ups or whatever we want to call them, because I can't remember right now what they're called. During her capture, two of her really good friends got killed. So not only is she captured, she's in a jail cell, she's in a strange place, she also lost her friends, so she's in a pretty bad place right now. During her time of capture, she's also been a little tortured, which has caused her injury. But fear not, because, like I said, Lady Orangecloak has friends within the higher-ups that she has no clue about, but they do come to rescue her. Her adventure pretty much begins there. She's rescued, and for a lot of the book, she's with these people. They're pretty much trying to get her somewhere safe, a very specific place, which was the plan all along. So the people who actually were part of this plan to help her out was a man named Trist Rain, which, oh my god, love that character. Totally heart that character, absolutely 100%. And the other character is Fletcher Miller. I think the last name is Miller. Oh god, I'm so bad with names. Okay, so Fletcher Miller and Trist Rain are in on this plot to, get Lady Orangecloak out of her prison and to safety. Unfortunately for Fletcher, he was one of the men who captured her because he was in on that part of the plan. And he is the one who killed one of her friends, but not the other one. Essentially, he had come to, get her with these other guys who weren't so smart and are a bit, just bit too killy. So one of his guys killed the one who was pretty much keeping a lookout, and then Fletcher got attacked by the other one with a knife, and it was either like him or the other guy who was guarding his friend Lady Orangecloak, and Fletcher won. So I kind of felt bad for Fletcher because he never really got to explain that, or, well, he does mention it, but like no one really listens to him. But I mean, it's understandable, because right now she's having a tough time. She's with these two strange guys, and Trist Rain himself doesn't have a good reputation, even though he's actually not the man his reputation says he is. So the story through Lady Orangecloak's point of view and Trist Rain's point of view mostly are all compact on their little journey from point A to point B, which point B being safety, and finally getting to a point where they can, they're trying to create a new and better Alestra. And, Lady Orangecloak wants to do it her way, which is peaceful. She doesn't want bloodshed. She doesn't want to kill people. There's enough people dying as it is, but unfortunately, it's hard to get so many people who are used to living a certain way to just listen to words and to just kind of make peace. And that's something that she's kind of slowly learning. She doesn't like it, but it is a reality. So overall, that's the gist of her journey. These characters, Tristram, absolutely love his character. So well written. I think he's like the heartthrob of the book. To be perfectly honest, he's just that character that you just kind of want to see in situations of the fun kind, the funner kind. There is a hint of romance between um, Trist and Lady Orangecloak. I'm not sure if I ship them. I'm not connected to Lady Orangecloak like I am her lieutenant, Hilary Dolan, or Lady Marigold. I'm more attached to those two characters, so for me that's just a personal level sort of thing. But we'll see how it goes. I mean, you know, it's not a bad thing. I just don't know if it's a good thing yet. I guess we'll see, because it doesn't really clue it up in this book at this point in time. There's more books, so you couldn't expect everything to be clued up all at once. Fletcher Miller, I felt so bad for him. I might be the only one who feels bad for him from the very beginning, because I feel like everyone's against him. Everyone, you know, and you can kind of see where everyone is coming from. But for me, reading it, I was like, nobody's listening to this guy, no one's giving him a chance. I just felt really bad for him. I feel like he was being judged extremely harshly. So when the time came later on down the road, when there became an understanding about the whole situation, it was nice. I enjoyed that part. I really felt like he was a misunderstood person, even though, yes, you know, he is a murderer. He does kill, but there's a lot more to him than that. And you will, if you read the book, you'll totally find out. Because I'm not giving every single spoiler, guys. You're going to have to read the book to get the whole thing. Now, the other point of views that there are is the Lieutenant Hilary Dolan, or Ellery, like I said. I'm not sure how you would say the name. And some of the thieves that were with her. Pretty much, they had found out that there was a plot to catch Lady Orangecloak, and they were trying to head her off. They were trying to stop her and warn her before she got to Artebel to, you know, stand up in front of crowds and do her speeches. So they were trying to save her, pretty much. But unfortunately, they got attacked while they were sleeping, and they were totally unaware, and eventually their little journey, because there isn't as much of it written in the book, but, you know, there's still a bit of it there. Their journey eventually leads them to Bidenhurst, or Bidenhurst. I'm not 100% sure how to say it, but it's one or the other. Again, sorry, I'm bad with pronunciations. So they end up there, and this place is horrible. It's full of slaves. It's full of people who are imprisoned. They don't treat the prisoners very well there, and you're really left wondering what happens to them all. And I can't wait to get to the book. I'm not even going to spoil the bits and pieces in between there. Hilary Dolan herself, I loved her character. She has such a fire, but at the same time, she's very subdued. She knows when to keep her mouth shut, and she knows how to manipulate the situation, and I love that. I absolutely love that. She's not afraid to fight if she needs to, but at the same time, she knows when to take a step back, which is I totally see why she's a lieutenant. Her and her sister are part of the thieves, and Marion is a great character upon herself. She's a little more hot-headed, though. She doesn't know when to back down. She's very fiery regarding in what she believes in, so she's willing to stand up for that no matter what, and she doesn't really have the sense to know when the time is right to do it and when the time is there to kind of be quiet, you know, for the most part. So there's her. There's also Lady Marigold. Fell in love with Lady Marigold. There's also a little bit of a hint of a possible romance that could have flourished between her and Tristram. Because that happened in the book first, I think that might be why I'm a little prejudiced against Lady Orangecloak and Tristram, only because I was already rooting for Marigold and Trist. I love Lady Marigold. She's born into the high society. Lots of things are expected of her. She's expected to marry, and in this world of Alestra, you know, men rule it all. that's it. Women are nothing. They have no rights whatsoever. They're meant to take care of the household, you know, the kids and stuff, and let the men do the politics and the ruling and all that bull. She's rebellious. Her father is sick, and so she's actually engaged to one of the Palom twins. Horrible little snots. I can't stand them. She's supposed to marry him, but because she doesn't have to marry him yet, because her father is still alive, and I'm pretty sure there's like a date or time or something. I can't 100% remember at what point she's supposed to marry, but right now she's single. So she's pretty much going against the rules. She's standing her ground. She's not letting that Palom boy walk right on over her. She's riding her status while she still got it. And I love it. She's totally working toward the same goal as Lady Orangecloak. Neither one of them know each other. They've never met each other. But they're totally working on the same goal. Obviously, Lady Marigold really wants equality as well, because she doesn't want to marry the Palom twin boy. She doesn't want to hand over her father's estate and her say in what happens around her and things like that. So, you know, she's a strong character. She knows when she needs to make alliances and when she needs to plot and plan. So, you know, she did have a plan at the very beginning, but not every plan can happen properly. Things get in the way, you know, so things didn't see through, but she still has a plan B, and I freaking love that. That was absolutely awesome. Lady Marigold, totally love that character. So those were the characters that were mainly in the book, where things were mainly about. There was an elf named Ren in the book as well. You didn't really get to know much about Ren. I didn't get as connected with Ren because there wasn't as much of him. We might see him later on down the road, and I would like to see him return. I really would, with his elven buddies. That would be awesome. We'll see what happens. There's also gnomes in the book, and they were interesting as well. I really think that they will pop up again somewhere along the way. So as for the world of Alestra, it's big. Oh my god, it's so big. There were so many names of like cities or little towns and just places in general that I can't remember them all. So rich in the past of the characters that you can really picture what they kind of went through to get where they are now. Like Larry and her sister, you get to see into their past, you get to see a little bit into Lady Orangecloak's past. We kind of get a glimpse into Tristram, a few things that he's done in his past, and it's just, there's so much. The book is so rich with so much stuff going on, and it's not boring. That stuff is not boring. Overall, guys, I totally recommend the book. That's as much as in-depth as I plan to get with the book, because you gotta read it. You totally gotta read it. I hope you do. I hope you take this review and run with it. Guys, Gold and Steel is the series. As Fierce as Steel, Christopher Walsh. Check them out. I'm going to have all the links down below. If you guys need to get in touch with me at any time outside my YouTube videos, links for me are also down below. If you guys enjoyed this video, subscribe, because you're going to miss out on more book reviews in the future, because I do have another book that I'm reading, and I do plan to do a review for it, and I will continue to do reviews because they're actually kind of fun. I'll see you later. Bye!